everyone, I'm Christina with McCrory Gardens. Today, as part of our Dyer's Garden series, we're going to be looking at the different plants that you can use for natural plant dyes. So here we're with our Dyer's Chamomile plant, or Anthemis tinctorial. This plant grows really well in full sun. It can take some shade as it is in here. It might not put on quite as many flowers for you. It is a perennial in our zone of Zone 4B. It self-seeds, and so it will spread a little bit by seed, and it could also, the seed can be collected and grown yourself and started in the spring to put out into your garden. It also benefits from deadheading, which is great because you can use these flowers for their dye. So the flowers, the spent flowers or the fresh flowers, can be used for a yellow color in your dye. And the leaves and foliage of the plant can be used for a green color for a natural plant dye. Mordant is recommended for this plant, and a 1-to-1 ratio of the amount of plant and the amount of fiber that you're dyeing is recommended. We're at our Elderberry, Sambucus nigra. It's a wonderful shrub that grows in our region. We're in Zone 4B in South Dakota. It grows about 6 to 10 feet tall, and is a really beautiful plant with these beautiful beautiful clusters of berries in the fall. They have kind of a purple color. These are the umbels that are left over from where the berries were. For using this plant for a plant dye, these leaves can be soaked in water for a couple of days before they're put into the dye pot, and then they will give you a beautiful rich yellow color. And the berries can also be used for dye, and they'll give you a nice purple color. You use a 1-to-1 ratio for this plant, and mordant is recommended. Here we're at our Rudbeckia, or a black-eyed Susan. So there's a few different Rudbeckia species. This is Rudbeckia triloba. It's a nice one to use just because it likes to self-seed, it likes to naturalize, so you might have lots of blossoms and lots of plant material to be able to work with. It loves full sun, but as you can see in this location, it's in quite a bit of shade and still is putting on a really nice show. It's tolerant of a lot of different growing conditions, drought tolerant, and tolerant of poor soils as well. This plant, if you're going to use it for dyes, the spent flowers are what you want to use. And when you find those spent flowers, it'll give you yellows to olives for your color, and the foliage, the leaves here, will give you more of a tan to olive color. It's a 1-to-1 ratio for this plant, and mordant is recommended. So now we're here with a Bur Oak, or Quercus macrocarpa, a beautiful tree that can be used for natural dyes, although many trees can be used for natural plant dyes. And the unique thing about using a tree like this oak tree is when you're taking off a limb or anything like that, when you're pruning the tree, you can use the inner bark for your dye, and it has tannins within the bark that help adhere the dye to your fabric, to your fibers, so that it won't fade in the sun or wash out. You can also use acorns for your dye, or you can use oak galls, or galls that grow on the leaves of your trees. And you can also use leaves of trees. If you do use the leaves, a mordant is recommended for the leaves. Now we're at our marigolds. You have both the African marigolds and dwarf French marigolds, and both work really well for natural plant dyes. They grow really well in full sun, beautiful flowers that they put on a show all summer long. They can grow really well from seed, so you can collect seed from your own plants and seed them out in the spring, or start them indoors in a sunny window to bring out into the spring. And they benefit from deadheading, from regular deadheading, some of these spent flowers, and then those can be used for your fabric dye. So these nice yellow tones are going to give you a nice yellow color to your fabric, and these oranges and reds are going to give you more of a golden color. It's a 1-to-1 ratio with marigolds, and mordant is recommended. Now we're at our hibiscus plant. This is a hardy hibiscus. So this is hardy to winter hardy in our zone of 4B. It grows really well, likes kind of consistent and even moisture but good drainage. Loves full sun. You can see this variety in particular, or this cultivar in particular, gets a really beautiful dark purple color in the leaves when it is in a lot of sun. For dyeing with this plant, you use the flowers, generally not the leaves and stalks, but you use the flowers. You can use both fresh or dried flowers. You want to have these dark, the darker the color, the richer color that you're going to get from your dye as well. So some of these darker colors and reds and things like that will work the best for you. And you can use both fresh flowers and the spent flowers. So next we're with our hollyhock. You can see this has a really beautiful deep red color to this plant. These are also really nice, easy to grow plants in your garden. They love full sun. They put on a lot of flowers for you throughout the summer when they're in a nice sunny spot. A lot of varieties do self-seed pretty readily as well and will keep coming back for you year after year. They do like average moisture in their soils, and this plant in particular with this color is really nice for those deep reds and mauves and maroons for your natural plant dye. You can use either the flesh blossoms or these, when they're spent blossoms as well. You can see that the plant is starting to put on seeds, so if you want to keep cultivating this plant, you can collect the seeds after this dries out. It'll form seeds in a ring there that you can keep planting. There is another pinker variety of the hollyhock, and the pink itself won't give you that deep red, maroon, mauve, red color. It'll be a little lighter of a color for you.